Welcome. This is a recording of adults playing or talking about tabletop games. This means that adult language and/or themes may occur within that could be seen as inappropriate for younger audiences. Thank you.
In a world where...
Okay, so where we left off last time, you all had exited the sewers to a grisly scene, and Mekog lying face down in a literal pool of blood. Thinking quickly, you all began to investigate the scene, assist Mekog, and find a way to get him medical attention, as it was definitely deemed that he would need some with his grievous wounds. After getting the attention of a tow truck driver and loading him up onto the back of a tow truck, including killing the driver, you all drove him down the road and back to your base of operations, where you were met by Dr. Dobesh, your current resident neighborhood doctor. And he went about reviving and aiding Mekog and preventing him from death, even though he was not the best at alien organs and stuff like that, at the cost of 20,000 credits. Mekog needing rest, you all decided, and now missing your car because that was also exploded at the current scene. You decided to borrow...
Is that completely unsalvageable?
That armored vehicle?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about Mekog's.
Oh no, Mekog's is totally salvageable. As long as Mekog gets a hold of it.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's how Mekog works.
True.
It's broke? No, it's not. You know. So you all decided to borrow Mekog's wannabe battle wagon and drive out to Duke Straub's residence, his mansion, estate, where you were met by a butler who invited you in and fed you all, as is kind and appropriate protocol for someone, and you were informed that Duke Straub was in fact not there, and he was actually at the Coliseum. After leaving much of the lunch behind in the form of a viscous, bloody liquid on the table, you all quickly exited the scene, giving some money as an apology, and got back into the vehicle and decided to hit a bunch of Mekog's buttons.
To be fair, one of us decided to hit a bunch of Mekog's buttons.
Learning a whole lot about Mekog's car, including its ability to crash through building barricades, once you arrived at the Coliseum. Exiting, you all went in through a back entrance and were met by a dweeby young guy who seemed to be in charge of the combat for the arena, and realizing that by fighting in the arena you would gain the attention of a great many people, including Duke Straub, you decided to fight and make a profit on the side, because why not? You are rogue traders after all.
Let's be real here. The real reason we fought was for the money.
Yeah.
It worked.
However, at the behest of the Battle Sister, you all decided to take on a mighty 10 creatures of the arena, and you went in almost to your deaths. Things looked great at the beginning of the battle, but as the battle continued, the rolls seemed to disfavor you towards the end, and your leader Bjarn was almost torn in half.
Ow. Ow.
Yeah.
Ow.
And but you were still able to succeed, and you had just recently, after your great success and to the cries and roar of the arena audience, went to get yourselves patched up, as much as to make sure that you are not mortally wounded and bleeding everywhere before you were to go in front of Her Highness Lady Maub and her court, which you had previously, I think on day 1 on this planet, you had visited prior. And that's where we left off. So,
Yes.
oh yes, and Little Fex would like to remind me that technically we did cut a person in half with the vehicle.
No, he wasn't important. Don't worry about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was before you hit the barricade.
That was
certain
a
person.
That was a servitor. His family's gone. Don't worry about him. I made sure because I have vehicle driving, so I aim towards somebody unimportant.
Yeah, that's it.
We did blow up a minivan with a family in it, but yeah, you got to break some eggs to make an omelet.
Yep. Okay. So you guys begin walking back down this tunnel. Like I said, in case I think everyone did it, but just in case you didn't, you were to bump your HP up to half of its full total if you were hurt.
Wait,
that was
up to half of its full total, or gain half of our total back?
You gain half back.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. I don't remember what I was at before.
Ultimately, they're going to heal you the full amount, but because they're kind of in a rush to get you back up there, they're only giving you like the needed amount right now to make sure that you don't like tip over and die in the royal court. So basically, they're probably giving you all like a shot of like morphine type thing, not bothering with stitches, but like just packing wounds with like gauze and doing like really like Israeli wrappings and stuff like that. In case you don't know what that is, you can look it up later. Things like that, just so you guys aren't bleeding, but they still want you to kind of look like you just went through a battle, because it adds to the romance of the Colosseum to see like the warriors bloody and dirty and ripped and torn. The bandages probably still leaking a little bit, so like the bandages are bloody and stuff. It adds an extra element to the presentation once you guys get up there. Once you get up there, would you Bjarn, would you like to have your servitor skull do your presentation?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you reach into your pack gingerly, as you do have a number of wounds across your back from the teeth marks of the creatures, and you flick on the sec or.
I'd like to roll a performance check.
Okay, I'll make you do the performance check.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I'll let you do it.
I know.
You flick on the servitor gingerly and let it float as the escorts open the doors, and the servitor skull floats in and begins announcing you all. Jay, do you have a list of things yet, or are you gonna just let that be a assumed entrance?
I did, but I don't know where it went, so not this time.
Not this time. But you can add the arena competition to your list too when you get there. And after you all begin to enter, the entire court seems to be facing the door, awaiting with like polite, royalty clapping and stuff. And at the end, you see the gargantuanly, morbidly obese Lady Malv on her hover disc sitting there with like a mutton chop in one hand, and she's just like smacking her fist to her hand like happily as like you guys come in.
I just pictured her with half of somebody's jaw for some reason.
Half of
like in one hand?
Well, yeah, because he said
like
mutton chops.
Oh yeah.
So I was picturing just like half of a beard.
Excellent. Yeah. But yeah, a giant like leg of lamb kind of thing in one hand, and she's clapping her meaty fists together. Juice dribbling down her chin. At which point, like, once you get into the room and the politeness has gone down, you guys are just swarmed with royals. Jay, you have politics now, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, give me a politics check, because this would be a good time to start your politicking.
Bloop. Bloop. Yeah, starting off high.
Nice. Yeah, so you do a bang-up job doing this. Okay, so what you're gathering from this is that, like, the people that are vying for your favor right now are the lower houses. The swarm of people that are surrounding you guys being extra friendly, the people shoving drinks into your hands, asking if you need anything to eat, and the women that are rubbing up against everyone, including the Eldar, trying to like gain their attention. Yeah, I see Steven like, no, not doing it, not fucking humans. But yeah, you see the collection of all these are people that are trying to gain favor because they literally have like almost no power. However, you can tell that the groups more towards Malb, just like last time when you were in the room, the groups that are more towards Malb, it seems to kind of go like a linear hierarchy where like the closer you are to the current current monarchy is where the power lies. And up there in that area, you see the Duchess Calamir, a number of her house in that area. She's currently talking with a number of her own members of her court. You see the Lady Malb and a number of servitors around her that constantly, like, one probably has like a little like mechanical arm that like has a napkin that like dabbles at her mouth when she like pulls the leg of lamb away to like wipe up the juices, kind of thing. But in general, like these are well beneath your station. Even though they're like high end in this court, like as a rogue trader, and as the esteemed Bjarn, as your servo skull has announced you as, these are low end beneath weaklings that have nothing to really promise you beyond frugal amounts of money.
I mean, money's good.
Which Cecil will soon relieve them of.
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay. So we see the Duchess. Do we see Duke Straub anywhere?
You actually do not. Looking around, because you understand where Duke Straub would stand in the hierarchy of the houses. You would assume that he would actually be, and there's actually a kind of like almost a vacancy in the room where Straub and his court would probably be. Which is fairly odd considering that you were told that he would be here.
Yeah.
Most curious.
Well, that's just
like-
kind of your purview, Jay, so... what are you doing today?
I was gonna say I'd like to whisper to Bjarn something along the lines of we should ask about our missing quote unquote friend.
Indeed. So let's see. So based on what I learned from politics, would it be appropriate to approach, say, the Duchess? Because we have a bit of a relationship with her.
Absolutely. However, because I'm still running kind of off of your previous role, what would probably be most polite in this court is to first acknowledge Lady Malb, considering that she asked you up here. This is her Colosseum. You're in her presence. If you went to another person first, you would be recognizing them as having the most power or sway, in your opinion. And so, at least to be polite, you should introduce yourself to Malb first.
Let's go talk to like a waiter or something and really throw them off their guard.
And that can be just Bjarn. Like, there just has to be some recognition of like the leader going to the leader kind of concept. The other three of you guys can go to another location.
Yeah, so I let the others do what they will for now and approach Queen Malb to pay my respects.
Oh, goody.
Okay, so Jay's going to Malb.
No,
right? Did I get that right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are the... I'm going to assume, just for now, Jay, because Nate's on the phone with his dad, that the Battle Sister is going to escort along with you, considering that she was one of the primary bloody combatants on the field. That way, more favor goes towards Malb in that instance. What is Cecil going to be doing?
Okay, so what else all is in this room currently?
Basically, this is the exact same room that you guys had in the very first session where I was DM. What you're basically looking into is like, you ever been to like a box at like a sports event, like those like really high end
Yeah.
like sports
Yeah.
boxes. Think
I mean, I
like
haven't
like
to them, but I know what you're talking about.
okay, like think like one of those, except for like it's like 10 times the size, and everyone here is billionaires.
Okay, I was mostly just wondering. So I'm assuming that there's some sort of like area where people are acquiring food and whatnot,
Oh yeah,
correct?
there's a full table of food, an open bar with like the rarest of liquid beverages, like basically like the table of food alone would empty your coffers in its expenses. Like you got like weird exotic meats and eggs from creatures on death worlds and shit like that. Like it's insane.
And people are just grabbing food off of this and
Without issue or pause. Like they just and there's also like waiters with like the hors d'oeuvre trays
yeah,
and stuff, but
uh,
like
uh,
there is a
it's-
full feast table available.
Okay. So are there a lot of people around this table currently?
Maybe 4 or 5. I mean, it's a long banquet table, like I don't know, your classic like probably like 50 feet ish long. First time I've ever seen Steven with glasses.
I'm trying to wear 'em more often.
Steven has glasses?
I know.
Trying to get used to them.
Skype is just doing all sorts of derping right where his camera is. Let's see. Well, I want to do something along the lines of... I'm assuming there's a lot of attention on me right now.
Yeah, like because you recently were in the spotlight, assume that like you are always in the spotlight for this occasion. Like no matter
Okay.
how much you try to be like you're innately like kind of like good at like getting out of like the spotlight. It's gonna be hard as hell because like there's like always at least one female that's trying to flirt with you, and like they're kind of like pressed around you, and like the moment you're like, oh, I need to go get food, like I'm assuming you're making your way towards the food table.
I am aiming for a group of people, is what I was going for. I was thinking a sort of buffet style table would be an appropriate place for lots of people to be around, is why I was asking.
Okay, yeah.
So
So you're like trying to position yourself over by that table to.
well, if there are copious amounts of, say, girls attempting to flirt with me, I will allow it, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Because
totally
I'm
happening.
assuming they are also, I mean, this is me we're talking about. I'm assuming they're wearing something valuable or have something valuable on their person.
Oh yeah, they're probably wearing like you know $5,000 or 5,000 credit like necklaces and shit like that on their person right now. Like you probably have like a girl on each arm that's like asking you like, oh, did that hurt? You look so brave down there. You know, things like that, and you know, like, you know, all the where'd you learn to shoot like that, and you know, like normal like just absolute like high end like flirting where like they're totally like trying to bed you, but like in a polite way.
I would like to garner their attention as much as humanly possible. Like, not be over the top, but those that are around me, I'm trying to get them to focus on me, and I would like to know, I would still also like to know what kind of valuables they have on their person, if
Okay,
possible.
so you're trying to get people's attention?
Yes, like I'm trying to be some sort of a focus of a distraction,
Okay,
more or less.
I want you to roll me something along the lines of like performance.
I have deception.
Because deception would work. I'll let you do deception because this is out of your character. So basically, you're trying to act like you're someone that you're not.
I'm gonna spend some effort on this.
Okay. And then depending on how it goes, I'll let you describe what the result is.
So let's see, deception. Oh wait, I need to efforts and deception. Here we go.
You do a pretty good job. As a whole, like, you're probably going to get a little bit more attention because I'm assuming that you're going to be speaking like a loud voice and being slightly bolsterous and things like that. But you're obviously not going to be like the focal point in the room per se.
I was not trying to be the focal
Okay.
point in the just for the local crowd around me.
Then yes, everyone within like an immediate to like half a short range distance, so probably like everyone in 30 feet radius of you is well aware of you. So what are you wanting to do with this?
Well, I would still like to know what kind of valuables they have on their persons. If I have seen anything that looks like...
So just like last time, a lot of the males wear like ornamental weaponry to kind of like make them look like they're badass, but really like any of you would know, particularly like probably Alyson would be like, that probably can't even fire. Like, you know, like that's pure decoration. That weapon can't even fire. That's not a las pistol. It would melt, kind of thing. But like the sheer value of it could buy like 1,000 las pistols.
Well,
lots of
would...
not chain swords, but a lot of like saber type swords on these people.
Okay.
Think like classic. What would I be thinking of? Where they have like the pauldrons with like the frills. Like that's the kind of like image that I see this court, if that gives you any indication. So, you know, guys wearing medals that they probably didn't earn and like military uniforms and shit like that. You know?
Okay, like I'm assuming, like I'm trying to think of things that are going to be easy to remove from a from somebody's person.
Probably
So, I mean,
your easiest would be. I mean, you're also, if you're doing that, you're gonna have to. I'm gonna say you innately know that you have to be able to secret on your person. So like stealing someone's las pistol or a sword is not gonna work because they're big.
Exactly.
So your primary target would then be like the women because they have jewelry.
Lots
of low cut bodices with gaudy necklaces and stuff like that. Rings, particularly, would probably be on both males and females. If you shook a lot of hands, you could probably do a sleight of hand check and steal some rings while doing it.
And that's where I was going. So...
yeah, for you, that's like blatantly obvious stuff. Like, it'd be harder for like another character to do that, but like, this is right up your alley. Like, you're like, I've done this a lot, you know?
I would like to... I'm assuming, since I'm grabbing quite a few copious amounts of attention, I'm assuming that Steven's character is aware of what I'm doing at this point then. Since it's significantly out of my normal character.
So let's put you on pause there and actually switch over. I think that's a good segue to get over to Steven's character. So Maugan... The attention, because you were kind of near Cecil when Cecil garnered this attention, which gave you a little bit of breathing room, because this is really not your area of expertise.
Yeah, I'm not happy.
So what are you doing after Cecil kind of attracts the people away from you? You still have a couple people that are trying to like create conversation, but you're probably given like those like one-word answers and you know, stuff like that. Like, because I mean, you do tower over the tallest person in this room. You probably tower a foot or more. Like, it's kind of hard for like people not to see and pay attention to you. You're like a basketball player at a midget convention.
I was trying to decide if I should follow Cecil and help him steal, or follow Jay and help him with his politicking. Zach, before you left, did you like whisper like, "Help me out here, bro," or anything, or because you kind of seem like you're good, but
I kind of got the impression that Zach, like there's no real way that Zach's going to be able to sit there and like, with I mean, from the moment you guys walk into that room, you're bombarded. So I'm gonna say that like, because Zach didn't specifically say anything like you know, hey, help me out with this, and the fact that you're like swarmed, I'm gonna say that he didn't mention anything to you about like, you know, I'm totally gonna be fucking stealing shit like mad up in this house, you know. But I mean, you could say like, it's reasonable considering you helped him last time that you could assume that he's probably gonna be pilfering the shit out of this area.
How far apart is he from Jay? How far is he from Jay?
Jay and Alyson are actually walking towards Lady Mal because Jay knows that he needs to address and give.
Yeah, but like 50 feet?
Yeah, like 50-ish feet.
Okay, fine. Then I want to follow Jay, but keep Zach in my sights. Like I want to be oriented so I can easily see.
Okay,
Zach.
so like probably like Jay's gonna be at like at your 12 o'clock, like facing forward,
Mhm.
12 o'clock, and like Cecil's gonna be more like your like 2:30. But
Yeah,
it's
that's fine.
progressively turning away. Like basically assume that he's then gonna be like if you keep following Jay, it's then gonna be
Mhm.
3, then 4, then 5, because you're basically changing the rotation pivot point.
Yeah, that makes sense. So can I just stand like slightly behind Jay and just keep Zach within my field
Yeah,
of
so
view,
like
or
so like maybe Allison's flanking like his right side,
yeah, and I'm just
and then
the
you're
flank.
on the left, which gives you a little bit more eye room for Cecil.
Mhm. Yeah, okay, then I'm cool with that. I'm just gonna wait for one of them to make a move, and maybe
Yeah,
I'll
and
use help
probably you're
action.
also
Yeah.
like you have like it's probably like Jay, then Allison, and then like you like maybe like behind Allison off to like her like 7 or 8 o'clock kind
Yeah.
of thing. So
Yeah, I
like
mean, basically, like
it
if
kind
we
of
were in
creates like a little
combat
bit of
right
a
now,
zigzag.
I would be like readying an action. You know, I just want to be able
Right.
to mind read if I need to help Jay, or like hedge magic if I have to help Zach.
Totally. Yeah. That sounds good. Okay, so let's since we're back at J, the three of you approach the Lady Maub on her flying disc, and what do you all? What do you? How do you introduce yourself? I mean, obviously, like you have made a
Before
public.
that,
You've made a public appearance and a public statement, but you're now in front of the monarch, so probably some kind of indication to her power or something would be appropriate.
yeah. Before that, though, should we do the group goal? Because we forgot that.
The group what? Oh, the
Goal
goal!
for the session.
The
Yes,
group goal
absolutely. Thank
for the
you. I
Twitch
totally
group.
forgot.
Rob the fuck out of everybody in this place.
Cecil agrees,
Yeah.
but you know, easier said than done.
Also,
Because
what?
because everybody is a very, very large endeavor.
I mean, all their guns are decorative. We can just hold the place up. No.
Oh, God.
When action resumes again, I want to use hedge magic to like knock over a large platter of food near Cecil, so people are distracted and he can get some stealing done.
Okay.
But for a group goal, I have no fucking clue.
So group goal.
Maybe find Straub.
We're actually still hunting for Straub, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be a little bit more specific about Straub. So like last time, your goal was to find out Straub's intentions for you all.
Yeah.
That was probably how I would have phrased it. I think technically it was more like find out why Straub is trying to kill you, which
I believe, yeah, that was
which
the.
I then awarded like half points for because you guys are like, well, technically he didn't really intend to, but maybe he did, and so like we kind of had that vague ambiguity, so I gave you half. So like, do you want to continue to have that be the goal? Like, you guys want to know Straub's intentions for you all?
I mean, I really do.
I mean, I guess that works for me, yeah. Because just finding him would probably be too easy.
Yeah, I won't let you do just finding him
Yeah.
because he will make an appearance tonight. But like, if that works, or if you guys come up with something else, I mean,
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, finding
figuring
out
out his objective, I would say would be
his objective in what way? Just his
go on, Zach.
his political objective, his objective,
Well, then we already get the points because he wants more power, you know? But,
or does he?
true.
yeah.
Honestly, I'm okay for him for the not plans for us, but how his plans.
Intentions.
Yeah, his intentions. That one. That's the word I'm looking for.
So, do you want it to be just his overall intentions, or do you want it to be his intentions
Around us.
that around you guys?
Around us.
Okay, so specifically, you want to know
Yeah, as far as
what Straub's
our goals are
intentions
concerned.
are for you. Okay, I think that's a fairly. I'm gonna add a little bit to that, and I'm also gonna say like, I'm gonna add and attitudes to that because I like the intentions, but like I also think that it's important that you guys still figure out where his opinions of you guys also sit because we didn't kind of resolve that last session. So I think it would be like his intentions and attitudes for you all, or at you all. Because that's very confined and very knowledgeable, and at least how I set up the session, I think that's completely reasonable for you guys to achieve. Okay.
That works for me.
So,
Okay.
Now that we have that
Anyways.
figured out, randomly next to you, Cecil, a platter of probably like a half-eaten pig platter gets like suddenly tipped and like splashes onto like the floor and onto probably the shoes of some whimsical dandy that's rubbing her breasts on your shoulder. But we'll come back to you.
Good
Bjarn.
point to come into this.
I love how Nate shows up right then.
Right with that look on his face.
Yeah.
Right with that look on his face. Nick, not Nick. Nate, you seem enthused.
But it's actually Bjarn's turn right now. So Bjarn, how do you address the Lady
yes.
Maub?
Well, I kneel down as
Uh-huh.
befits her position
Uh-huh.
and
Cool.
say
She
something
digs
along
it.
the lines of, "I hope you enjoyed our show, my lady.
Okay.
It was a pleasure to fight for your honor." Something like that.
Okay. So
Just
Alyson and Maugan, do you also bow when Bjarn bows or kneels?
Do you really need to ask me that?
Yeah, because I mean, he didn't say like whatever I do, you do, follow my lead or anything like that. So you see your leader get down on one knee in the presence of Lady Maub. What do you guys do? Do you just stay at attention, or do you also bow, or do you do like just like a curt like like Japanese half bow, or like what's your
Since I have no context, I'm answering this out of context. I'm gonna be like the pharaoh soldiers next to the king.
Yeah, I
I
don't
pull
move
one
an
of
inch.
those.
Okay, so you're basically being like protectors, so you're not bowing because you need to stay aware of the room.
Yeah.
Sure.
I have zero context, so I'm just gut checking this. I
He's
have no
introducing himself to the most powerful lady, the big fat blob that's just chowing down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so basically what you
So
missed,
Jabba the
Nate, is you guys all went back up to the sports box that Lady Maub is in, where she watched your performance down on the Coliseum sands.
Oh, okay.
And you were all introduced, and you were swarmed by low-level hierarchy nobles, and Jay decided through some high-end checks that to properly recognize and pull power in the room, he needed to address Lady Maub first,
Got
as
it.
you are basically her champions and guests of the Coliseum. So he walked up to her and bowed, like got down on a knee, like he gave a very flourishing kneel comparative to what. Do you want to change that at all, or do you think that's still
Nope.
okay?
very
with you?
stylish.
Okay. And also, realistically, I think that kind of fits your character too, because like you are a battle sister and you kneel to no one but the Emperor.
Let's see.
Okay. And Maugan, fuck all this shit.
I'm just casually
Yeah.
standing there, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. At that point, the Lady Maub, I don't know how to do like this kind of voice, so I'm gonna try. She goes, "Oh well, aren't you delightful? Please stand up. You are my champion of the Coliseum today, after all. We have a couple minor bouts after this, but haven't seen anything like that in over 20 years.
Did we get our money yet? I'm just like out of
You know the
context.
Colosseum, you are.
Yeah, you got given the money
Okay.
while you were getting patched up.
That was 22 and a half.
No, 12 and a half.
12.
We
Damn.
won 50 grand total. Yeah.
That's right.
So at that point, she's motioning with her open fat hand to like get you all up. She probably has like some jewelry on it that's like coated in like grease and meat and shit from like what she's eating.
You are very off-putting right now.
You're welcome. This lady's disgusting.
Bjarn has sort of a vague feeling of nausea that he suppresses. Doesn't help that he's sick.
Cool. Because you said that,
Fuck.
I want you to roll me a deception check to not display the level of disgust that you have for this woman and her physical hygiene.
Corpulence.
Her corpulence, yes. It reminds me of like C-3PO when he's like introducing Jabba the Hutt.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Okay.
Do
You see like the corner of her mouth like twitch a little bit, but she overall maintains her appearance of joviality and enjoyment. From the overall exchange between the two of you all. So, what do you say to her?
I'm not saying a damn thing. I'm quiet.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
No words.
I don't think I have too much more to say besides just, paying her respects, getting that out of the way.
Oh, okay. So you just say, like, thank you for letting us participate. We had a grand time. We hope that you and the Coliseum enjoyed themselves. Blah, 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 blah. Like, just polite pleasantries.
Yeah, but then at the end of that, I sort of give a vague... I was under the impression that Duke Straub would be here. I understand that he enjoys the Coliseum a great deal.
She
I'm
goes,
kind of curious that he's not here.
Didn't you know? Absolutely. Duke Straub is absolutely one of the greats of the Coliseum. That is up until your marvelous performance. And she takes the big fat like meaty lamb leg and like points over her shoulder as much as like her fatty arm. The like fat jiggles on like the bottom end, like they like that does. And like she points like behind her, and maybe a little bit of grease splatters against the window, and then her hover disc like rotates around to look at the window. Who wants to look out the window?
I'll look out the window with her.
Okay.
I just won't
Alyson
stand
or
too close.
Maugan, are you going to just maintain your soldiery positions, or are you going to also investigate out the window?
Yeah, screw it. I'll look out the window.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the worst that can happen.
So
Well, you could get like corruption points or something.
yeah. So the four of you, I'm gonna assume like you three and the monarch all look out the window, and actually what you see out on the sand is Duke Straub himself fighting in the Coliseum sands right now.
What is he fighting?
Some kind of almost looks like a dog-ish beast. Actually, it's more like a tiger, but like instead of a tiger head, it's got like a beak, like a vulture.
Just one of them?
No, he's fighting four.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say.
But he's stripped down to like the waist.
Pansy.
Yeah, he's stripped down to like the waist. And he's got like the courtly like leather breeches that like he's wearing, but like his entire chest and stuff is bare. Like he's not wearing any armor whatsoever, and he's got a pistol in one hand and a sword in the other, and he's fighting and fending off. You see in the that apparently one of them they're all extremely wounded except for him. He's got a couple scratches, but nothing like too bad. But he's like fighting and he's like engaging and parrying and the whole depth of combat per se. But the big thing that you notice is that that his entire right side is metal. He's got his entire right arm and his right leg through the tatters of his pants, and like all down the side you see mechanics. That's his sword arm. He's got the gun in the left hand and a sword arm in the right, but he seems to have like augmentations or replacements of some sort along the whole right side of his body.
Can I make like a tech check to see how quality they look? Like, is he now fast as fucking super strong, or are these like kind of ramshackle steampunk?
Yeah, absolutely. You could totally do that. This would be either like a technology, or I'd say like investigation would probably work too. And all three of you can do this if you want. If you just want to kind of like gather information about the fight, I can like then ask you like how you want to, you know, discern that information.
I don't know anything at all.
How
I like to roll things.
Identify danger. See
You
how much of a
learned
threat
that
he
this-
is.
You learned that he is made out of metal.
Yeah, his whole body is metal. He's a Necron.
I want to roll.
This would be like an investigation or a seeing
Intellect?
check.
So intellect.
I could have
Well,
rolled sight.
Identify
so
danger.
Nate, because you're a battle sister, I could say like you could technically do.
Guess it's a good thing I couldn't roll sight.
Nate, you could also do like you could discern like combat style and things like that if you wanted, like, or you know,
Could I know their motives?
you could discern his motives as far as combat goes because that's where his mind is currently placed.
Because I have a thing called no motives. That's all it tells me.
Yeah, you
I
could
could read
you
his
could discern
mind.
through his body language how he's going to fight.
Done.
Okay. Cool.
Sweet.
How about identify danger, see what he uses most to fight most often with, or something like that.
Okay, so you're trying to discern like what's most dangerous in his combat technique, or like him as a whole, like physically. Okay, I'm okay with that.
With his fighting style.
Yeah. So you're kind of going the same long
Okay.
that Alyson is, just that from a different method. Damn.
That's all.
Okay, so Alyson, you can tell that while he looks a little torn up, he's easily gonna finish this fight. Between how he looks, how he fights, and how the creatures fight, innately these creatures are extremely dangerous. These are actually the power level 4 creatures that you guys would have had to have fought.
So they're tougher than what we're fighting?
Mhm.
Oh, so he's a badass.
But he seems in full control, even though it appears that he doesn't. From body language on his person, his muscles are still relaxed, the muscles that he actually still has. His stance in fighting is almost flawless in his combat technique. Bjarn, as far as you go, in understanding the danger of him, he absolutely is probably the only person in this court that actually knows how to fight. And his ability and knowledge of fighting is top Imperium class. He would have been trained by some of the best Imperium at some point in time in his past history. Because of that, and with the extra augmentation, with what you can see, the most dangerous thing about him is his guard. He's extremely capable of defending himself, and at any point that a creature lunges at him, he walks away fairly unscathed, but leaving deep gashes and wounds in the creature that attacks him. So he's very good at like reversing the combat.
And the Augmentics look similarly top-notch. He's super badass.
You don't know. This looks like a fight. You're not really concerned.
No, I'm just asking for like a visual, like what do they look
They're
like? They're not,
shiny.
like sparking. Okay,
They're shiny. They don't
that
spark at
wouldn't
all.
be included in Bjarn's role.
Not with how he was identifying danger,
Oh, okay.
where you were looking specifically at his augmentations, which was a 1 success with a +1, so which basically
Oh,
a
I-
0.
Yeah, you got a 0.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
inept.
Because that's why you all looked at different things about
Okay.
his fight. So yeah, so try not to sneeze. Okay.
Why not? You're clearly sick, like the rest of us.
Yeah, right. I need the rule book again. Somehow I lost it.
I just sent it to
I
him.
have it. So.
Okay.
I sent it too. Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, so
Heck, I'll send it.
Oh dear lord.
so all so that's the impression that you overall gain. And so the Lady Mount goes, he is one of our most marvelous fighters. I, only he would be willing to take on these beasts. They're a fairly short supply, but he doesn't seem to care, and in general, he tends to cost me more than it's really worth, but oh well, it is for the entertainment, and I do enjoy watching him fight. He is a marvelous specimen of humanity.
Yes, tell me, where do you get these creatures from? They seem like magnificent beasts.
She goes, oh, well, we used to take from the surrounding life of the planet of Hurricane 3 long ago, but, well, they don't seem to be fierce enough for the level of attention that the Colosseum gets. And so I have sought through the Duchess Calamir for newer and more interesting specimens. Her men are constantly on the lookout for more dangerous beasts within the immediate system to bring to the Colosseum for us to fight. The way that we actually rank them is based on the number of men that die in the ascertaining of these creatures.
Fascinating. I may have to inquire further with her at some point.
I'm sure she'd be happy to. I also have a Beastmaster that if you would like to speak to, I'd be more than happy to let you speak with him. He is quite fond of his beasts.
I would be delighted to meet with him at some point. My lady?
Probably at that point, like, a servitor shows up and he's got, like, this giant platter, probably, like, arm length that he's, like, holding in, like, metal arms. That's got, like, a whole pig and, like, you know, other foods. And she goes, oh, my dinner. And she goes, if you would forgive me, I do like to enjoy my meal in peace. But please enjoy. This is your day, after all, and enjoy what the bounty of my estate. And she kind of waves her fat hands around and kind of points to, like, the food and the drink area and just, like, kind of the overall area as a whole. Kind of lightly dismissing you.
Yes. Yeah. I bow and thank you, my lady. We shall.
Oh.
And then leave her alone.
Okay, so we'll put that on pause and snap back over to Cecil. Cecil, you just recently had a platter splash all over the leggings of one of the now damsel in distress on your arm.
Can we say that while the platter was moving, I moved in a way to try to move her out of the way of the splash,
Sure,
but was
speed check.
reaching for
Speed check.
just straight up speed,
Oh,
not,
yeah.
not like my sleight of hand.
You're not sleight of handing in this. It's not the dexterity. You're talking about full-on, like, ability to move a human being out of the way.
Okay.
Not reach into her pockets.
Okay.
No problem. Yeah, you quickly, like she's like, because she's already kind of close, you quickly just, like, wrap one of your arms around. She goes, whoa! And, like, as you, like, spin her out of the way and the platter, like, clashes the ground, and she goes, my, you are strong and quick.
The reason I was doing this is I wanted to, while I was moving her, to try to slide a hand, like, I'm assuming since I'm grabbing her hand, I'm trying to pilfer whatever rings she has on her hand.
Okay, so pilfer some kind of bauble from her body.
Yep.
That will be a
Beautifully.
sleight of hand check.
Are you sure that's not an alliteration check?
Yes. Yeah. You don't get quite the amount that you wanted, but you are able, like, as you do the spinning, to snatch a ring off of one of her smaller fingers on her hand. But you're not like you tried to get like a couple of things, but you were almost too greedy. But during the entire exchange, you almost fucked it up, but you didn't. You were able to steal away one little bit.
So I got what, a bauble?
Yeah, you can say just say stolen ring. Oh, let's see here. What
That's
would
with
it be?
the fact that he really rolled a level 2, right? Because of his training.
That would be a moderate costly or moderate ring. Would be what it would be.
So you just made $1,000. You just made $1,000.
That's what we thought last time.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it gets blown out of your hands and rolls away,
Yeah.
sure. But I could knock over the whole buffet table, and you could really steal some shit.
Wait a minute. How expensive is the silverware?
Oh dear.
Fairly.
I mean, this is why we brought Cecil.
I mean, it's not like made of gold or anything like that concept, but I mean, it's definitely fine dining silverware. Probably silver or something like that.
So wait, is Cecil still trying to steal stuff, or are we done with that? Because hedge magic can allow me to change the basic appearance of a small object. I could totally make somebody's necklace look like a snake. They'll throw it off, and you can get it.
I'm always stealing stuff. Always.
So while Bjarn's talking to Maug, can I turn somebody's like bracelet or something into a what looks like a snake to them?
Sure. How close are you doing that to Cecil?
Close enough that he can immediately see what's happening and maybe be around when she throws it.
So maybe like one of the females next to him kind of thing?
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay, cool. We're going to put that on pause for a second, though, and snap back over to Bjarn. Bjarn, where are you leading your party of brave Colosseum fighters?
I suppose I go down the hierarchy from Lady Maug to whoever's second until I get to the Duchess Calamir that we know.
Calamir would be right after.
Oh, good.
So you don't need to
Yeah,
go past
I
anyone. You go
turn to
straight
her.
to Lady Calamir.
Excellent.
So yeah.
So yeah, I bow to her, not as deep kneel like I did with the Lady Maug,
But a
but
polite bow,
a
nonetheless.
polite, respectful bow.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Um,
Say hello again, lady.
She goes, "Oh, so nice to see you again. Your fight down in the Colosseum was quite marvelous. Even the Duke Stroud was quite impressed, and he, bar none, is one of the greatest fighters of the Colosseum as far as beasts are concerned."
Delightful. How well do you know the Duke? He seems like a fascinating man.
Well, we basically grew up together. Obviously from different houses, but education and whatnot like that. We tend to know each other fairly well. Our chosen paths of wealth are different due to our houses and the current atmosphere of the politics nowadays, but I've known him, what you could say, is all my life.
Interesting. I know that his family deals largely with industry. What about yours?
Imports
I
and
don't think I've ever
exports.
talked about that, have we?
Prior to the changes to our monarchy, we mainly dealt with exports, exporting the things that the industry had created to the rest of the Imperium. However, now that we're currently going through these economic changes, these focuses of assets in our government, I mainly focus on importation now to bring both peoples and supplies to our planet to profit and aid the Imperium. Everyone needs to unwind every once in a while.
Too true, too true. The Queen told me that you were responsible for importing these animals that we fight down in the Colosseum.
Yes,
That
one of
right?
my many trades, actually. What the Duchess or what the lady requests, my men will seek out and find for her. Those particular creatures that you fought come from a death world a few systems away.
Interesting. They seem like awful creatures. Have any of them ever gotten loose? I imagine your men must be extra careful.
I'd have to check my logs of my manifests of shipping supplies, but I'm fairly sure that I would have heard about something like that. And you see her kind of like thinking for a second, and she goes, "Every once in a while, a creature maims or kills one of the men shipping them, but I can't ever recall one of them getting out or escaping."
Can I roll a detect lies check to see if
Absolutely.
I can tell if she's telling the truth or not?
Yes.
Excellent. Let's see what we get.
That's a damn good fucking roll. She is lying through her teeth, but not in the way that you can understand. What you can gather is
I can be mind reading her.
she's. You gotta say that shit, boy.
I would like to be mind reading her.
Okay, so I'm
doing
gonna let
this?
your mind reading come in immediately after I tell Bjarn how he detects the lie, and maybe you can detect the surface intention or understanding that she's thinking at that time when she lies.
Yeah, that's fine. That's next
so-
minute after.
So I will need a roll from you. This would be intellect roll of some
Just flat
sort.
in.
Yeah, because basically you're trying to overpower her mind. But Bjarn, basically what you understand is that she's telling the truth, but you know that she's telling it in half truths. So yes,
I also threw 2 points of effort at that, so I can like read her childhood trauma and shit. Like,
okay.
that's
So
a-
what is it?
it's a
Like you can see
different
like deeper thoughts when you spend effort or something, right?
no, it doesn't say anything about that in the
Oh,
rulebook.
okay.
I'm just saying I did a really good job.
Oh, okay. So basically that's what you gather, Bjarn. So Maugan, when he asked this question, you kind of probably like that's probably when you were tipping the tray,
Mm-hmm.
and so like you didn't catch the back end of it, but you caught her like saying this stuff about like oh no, I don't think I've ever lost any creatures, and so like you're like, oh, let's see if that's true. So you quickly like snap your mind, focusing in towards her mind, and what you can tell is you basically gather the other half of the truth. So basically, Bjarn knows that she's lying halfway. She's not telling the whole truth.
So she's not really lying. She's just like omitting,
She's omitting. You get
and
the
I'm getting
omission,
what she's omitting. Beautiful.
and the omission that you catch is she goes, "I didn't lose any, but that doesn't mean I gave her all of them."
So she's got to be involved in some way then, because if they're not lost, then they're doing bad shit. All right. At the earliest opportunity, when it's not way obvious, I'll whisper this into Jay's ear.
Okay. And also, just so you know, Steven, at any point for the next, I think, what is it, like hour? What's the length of time?
Let's see.
Stop.
You can read once you've established contact, up to 1 minute.
So for the
That's
next
short.
minute, as long as she is within a short range, which is essentially this room, if she
Not really.
stays invisible, like, I'll pause. If
I'm
she-
listening. You're
Yeah,
good.
so if she stays within visible, like immediate visible vicinity, you can maintain that for a minute.
Yeah.
So basically, as
we're
long
still
as she's
talking
in,
to her, right?
basically as long as she's in this room, you can read any of her thoughts.
Okay.
You just have to tell me, because like it's kind of like I'm not going to be like just like swarming your brain with anything that she says, but you like I want to listen to what she's thinking. You don't have to do a roll now for the next like basically 10 rounds. You basically just know what's going on.
Okay, so I guess now
So basically, like if Jay asks more questions, you would get all of that information.
I want to alert him to the fact that I can do this and give him what I got, and then he can question her for a while. You know what I mean?
Okay, so how do you give that indication? Because I mean, you all are talking. I mean, he's basically having a conversation. Do you like nudge him? Do you poke him?
We have earbuds, so I'll just kind of
like do
like
a little
sub-vocalize, and I'll maybe cover my mouth so they can't hear me, and it'll go right into his ear.
Okay.
So I'll look weird, like people will probably notice me, but I don't care because I'm already a weird-ass alien, you know?
So yeah, you quickly like kind of say like
Yeah, like secret agent talking to the watch.
So what exactly do you say to him?
She's not telling you
Is
everything.
it just me, or is everyone getting told?
Everyone's on the same comm link, I think. So
yeah,
like,
I suppose you could probably do it privately, but I think it's automatic.
Then you'd have to be like change to channel 5, and then
so I guess my exact wording will be: she's not telling you everything. She's kept some of the creatures for herself. For the next minute, I can read her thoughts.
Okay, so yeah, so you quietly whisper that, and the overall like cacophony of sound kind of drowns out what you're actually saying. So like she notices that Maugan says something, and like she like looks at Maugan when she sees you like doing that, because I mean you tower like a full foot taller than anyone else, but like she's like trying to figure out like what you're saying, but like because like you're kind of like you're cupping, and she's like, oh, okay, and like you hear all of that, Bjarn.
Okay.
And so I think we'll do a pause. Let's do a pause real quick and cut back over to Cecil, because that way Cecil gets to try to steal some more shit.
I like stealing stuff. Yay, stealing stuff. Okay. So currently what's happening? So last we left off our hero.
Last time at the last moment we left off our hero after he pilfered a ring.
Yep. Didn't Maugan use hedge magic to turn a thing into a snake?
Yes, that was right. So one of the ladies, the lady on your left side, that you hear her suddenly scream, and like that high pitched like I'm gonna die scream, and then just suddenly there's like all this dead weight on your left arm, as like the lady faints.
I grab the snake. And shove it into my backpack, sealing the backpack shut to make sure the snake can't get out.
Can I be a dick? Yeah. I don't think. Do you know that I can do this, or do you think this is a real snake? Well, no, because you know me you know me better than anybody else does. So you know that this would be within my.
Between the platter and then suddenly this.
Yeah, he can figure it out. Yeah.
It's not hard for him to understand that, in some way, shape, or form, there's probably like, especially because you guys have past history with each other too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That, like, he might not know the exact extent to it, but he's probably like, that looks awfully close to the same size as a piece of jewelry I saw on her earlier. That's not there currently. And so he, like, quickly, like, snatches the snake and slams it in the bag. Okay. And probably, like, at that point, like, you see, like, a couple, like, nobles, like, oh my, did you see that? And, like, a couple, like, people, like, clapping and so quick, and like things like that, like, fuck me.
You're not really my type, Verci, sorry.
I know.
Might be Nate's, but you're not my type.
Okay.
He doesn't disagree.
Yeah, so you stuff it into the bag. Unfortunately, you're not able to tell, like, to the exact like wealth of it, because currently it's writhing around as a living creature.
That's fine. I could still sell it for something.
Yep, but you can totally check it later.
Well, I would like to escort this fainted lady to an appropriate chair, where she can be, more relaxed and not on the floor.
Okay, so like you kind of like pick her up and prop her up into a chair, and have some nobles like kind of take care of her. And
No, not have anybody take care of
Oh,
her.
just you.
I would like to check her myself.
Aha, I understand.
Is there
So
anything
you would
else I
like
can
to take
pilfer off
advantage
her?
of a non-compliant woman?
I'm not gonna answer that
I think
because I
Nate just
know
said
where
he was
you're
like,
going with
"What?"
that. I know where you're going with that. God dang it, Verci.
Hey man, it's Warhammer 40k. I am the law.
I am no.
I mean, the Emperor protects.
Yeah.
I am protecting her from the snake. I need to make sure she's okay by relieving her of the, appropriate snake care is if she has been, bitten for some reason, I need to make sure that the she's like her fingers aren't swelling up or anything. So I need to make sure to vacate her jewelry from her hands.
Okay. I want a deception check from
The
you.
fuck did I just hear?
Just roll with it. Just roll with it.
Oh my god, we're going to hell.
Cecil is taking advantage of a woman.
I want a deception check.
I'm going to apply effort for this. Actually, I'm going to
Okay.
apply 2 sets of effort for this.
Okay.
Do I get an asset
You,
because she's
you really
asleep?
want to succeed at this, huh?
It's easy. Basically, because you have so many people around you, that like increases the difficulty. But because she's passed out, like that lowers the difficulty, so it like negates itself.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. Here we go. Deception. You said deception, right?
Yes, because basically you're trying to lie to a group of people about. Oh yeah, you fucking no problem. Everyone totally believes everything that you say. They probably have never seen a poisonous creature in their entire lives, beyond like what's in the Colosseum.
I say at least one they weren't eating.
Yeah. So yeah, like they're more like the shock and awe factor of like seeing a snake and you like rapidly taking care of it and going about like doing your business, and you probably are like audibly like explaining why you're doing what you're doing, but they're not realizing that you're not like giving someone her jewelry, you're just pocketing it all. Yeah.
Also, they all admire him because they just saw him kick some ass.
Yeah. So you can add an additional 3 moderate baubles to your person.
Sweet.
And that'll be the rest of her jewelry. So she's pretty
You're
much picked
muted
clean.
too.
She's picked clean? Okay, well then, I would, at that point, would then, wave some people over there to make sure that she is okay while I move on to, somebody who's obviously prettier and standing up still.
Okay, so we'll put you on pause. Snap back over to the other 3. So where we left off with you guys is you had recently just mind hacked the Duchess and learned this information, which you now know, Bjarn, that Maugan can read her thoughts for the next minute. What do you say?
So, once I learn that he's reading her thoughts, I start adding on the flattery, trying to get her off guard. Oh, ladies such as you must have suitors all over. Have you ever thought about the Duke? What are your thoughts on him?
She chuckles and she goes, "Oh no, I'm not really into that kind of thing." And she actually kind of brushes you aside for a second, like lightly and politely, and walks over and actually steps up to Alyson. She goes, "I'm much more interested in you."
You fucking would. God damn it. I knew you were gonna involve me somehow.
I can't let you just be texting on your phone or whatever the whole time we play this.
I'm not texting on my
Oh,
phone.
you're playing
I'm
on your
filling
laptop.
I'm
Wait,
filling my
hold that
work hours.
symbol back up.
It's a Mac.
I know.
I have a Mac, I have a Linux desktop, a Windows desktop, a Windows laptop, and a Linux laptop.
Yeah, just wanted to reconfirm that I saw what I thought I saw.
It was a Mac. It's government issued.
Government issue.
It is. It's got the sticker on it. And
Hear
everything.
that? The government's supporting Apple.
I know, we're horrible monsters. What am I gonna do? Fuck.
Does Maugan get any interesting thoughts or images from that?
Yeah, X-rated thoughts.
I'm gonna go.
What happened when he mentioned Straub though?
When she
Was
like
she
had like a
focused on
brief
the group?
image of Straub, and then like she kind of like passed it
Okay.
off as like she focused back on Alyson, and then
So would
suddenly
this be like-
you got a first-hand glance at non-reproductive human reproduction.
Oh god, I'm so sorry. Is this gonna be like a mental defense, or is this mental intrusion?
Oh no, he's willingly absorbing those thoughts from her mind.
No, for me, for what I'm about to experience.
Oh no, she's flirting with you is basically what she's doing.
I'm going to attempt to know her motives. Her
Okay.
flirting with me.
Yes.
There's always a motive. No motives, please win. That should do good. If I
You're married.
So you can understand that she totally is flirting with you for the sheer purpose of flirting. Like, i.e., like, she'd love to see what's
wants the
beneath
lady
your
dribbles.
armor. But on the flip side, she's also you can understand that she's changing the topic to change the topic. Like she did this on purpose. At the mentioning of Straub, she changed the subject so she wouldn't be talking about Straub.
Gotcha. So I'll
But
respond
only
back.
you know that.
But only I know that?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Because basically what happened is like she's like basically in her mind she's like don't want to talk about it, and then like she's like but you on the other hand I'd love to talk about you is kind of like how her
So-
brain goes.
Dark Elf Lord should also know that too, then, because he's reading minds.
He gets the flash of Straub, and then he gets like the flood of like her thoughts about taking you back to her mansion. And
Can he only read minds on the level of like Doug from Up? Is that
It's
like
surface
basic
thoughts.
mind reading?
basically he can read surface thoughts. So basically like in her mind she's like she has the thought about Straub, and she's like don't want to talk about it, and then like she goes like straight to you, and she's like want to talk about you.
I will respond with, well, that's very flattering.
And probably he gets the word in like big like fiery letters that says taboo.
So it is like communicating with Doug from Up. It is that level.
Sure, I mean it's a
A
little bit
golden lab.
classier than that, but
I
at
think
least
it kind of depends on the person too. So like if she's thinking about like a trade agreement, it would be like thoughts, like words. But when she's thinking about something as primal as sex, it's probably just like images.
yeah, because like think about it, like
Right.
let's talk about male-based desire for a second. Like if you
But this
think
is a
about
female.
it's a right, but I'm saying like from a male perspective, because males are easier. I can identify as one, so it's easier for me to say this. Like if you think about sex, do you think about words or do you think about images?
Haven't.
If I say the
psychoanalyzed myself
finest pair of
adequately.
tits on a redhead that you've ever seen, Nate, do you think about a redhead or do you think about a description of said redhead?
We'll go with number one.
Bingo.
It's
Okay, that's basically how this works. He's getting an image because basically she's thinking about boning you as much as lady boners go.
Gotcha. I'm still gonna respond. Well, that's quite flattering. Thank you. And then
Okay,
just
so like
clam-
so
Yeah,
like
nope.
she
Back to the
she
story.
essentially asks you a question, like she's like wanting to talk about you, and then you're like duh.
That was not expecting this.
Nate's turn to question her.
Yeah, this is a chance. You also heard that Maugan can read the thoughts, so if you are able to use her flirtations against her, you could totally do that.
I'm not.
You do
I'm
basically live in a
anti-skilled
commune.
at this. I'm like anti-skilled at this though. Like I
Yeah.
will fail.
Yeah, and then you just look awkward.
Yeah, I'm good at ripping things apart with my chainsword, but talking.
Then rip things apart with your chainsword.
Do you say that
I'm
to
just
her?
gonna
Like,
rip.
Verbally.
If he fails,
I mean,
does
you
he just
can
turn
be
her
honest
on
about
more?
it. You can be like, listen,
Sure.
like, I don't know how
I'll
to
go with
talk.
that. I don't talk good. I chainsword gooder.
Okay. She probably like flirtatiously like chuckles at that, and she's like she goes, so
Fuck.
what else do the Battle Sisters teach besides combat? I've always been curious. Obviously nothing that would endanger the Empire. I don't want to be so bold as to do that. And at that point she like rests her hand on your battle armor shoulder.
This is actually a legitimate question. I have no idea what else the Battle Sisters would learn besides how to be a kick-ass and like praise the Emperor. That's all I got.
That's
Is that all there
essentially
is?
like the majority of what they do. However, like it might be if it depends on how far you want to go. Like, I mean, essentially, she's asking like, what else do you do besides like cut stuff up with a chainsword and like worship the Emperor, which is pretty much all you do. But you could also talk about like ideology of the Battle Sisters, which is pretty open. Everyone kind of knows that. But essentially, like, you know, Stephen, probably you'd know a little bit more. So Alyson's chapter is basically focusing on Xenos concepts. Do they gain information like Inquisitors about Xenos?
If it's something she might have to kill, then
She
yeah,
would be taught
she's
about
gonna
it, right?
know a lot about it. Yeah, I think that they basically learn how to kill shit, how to read the 40K Bible, and
Defend the
there's a
Imperium
chance-
from whatever they
Yeah.
specialize in.
But maybe she was in because the Sisters of Battle are just one part of a bigger organization. So maybe before she switched into that, she was a nurse in the like medical order or something like that. So that you could definitely have other like background knowledge. But I think it's mostly just kill shit and read the Bible, unless you're like higher level, because then you would get politics training and.
Right.
But as a
well,
lowly sister,
he hasn't gone
basically just
that
kill
far
shit.
Yeah.
because he's
Yeah.
out in the Chronos.
But yeah,
Well,
once
like-
you level up, there's a lot of like politics and shit. So maybe there's
Got
like
it.
some basic politics. I don't know.
I'm just gonna say I cut shit up and
You're pretty
Well,
well rounded.
sure.
You're not like a inbred. You know.
Hey,
not a meat stick,
guys,
but
he came here to kick butt and chew
Tell her
bubblegum.
you can show her some moves.
Show
No.
me your moves.
no, that's
Show
a
me your
bad.
moves.
That's a bad line to say in this situation. That's not gonna work out. Well, it could work out well depending on how you phrase it.
Show me your moves.
I'm gonna go with I cut shit up and worship the Emperor and
Got it.
paraphrase / however it would be.
Okay, so like you
portrayed.
kind of go like maybe you describe like your everyday regiment that you do when you're not out on a mission, like
Yep.
wake up, pray to the Emperor, eat, train,
work out,
pray,
yeah.
go to bed.
Oh my.
Sure, we'll go with that.
That's
That sounds
basic.
about.
That's
sounds about
basically what Battle Sisters and Space Marines do. There's actually a whole thing about like the everyday life of a Space Marine, and it's the most boring thing. Like they pray for like 4 hours, then they train for like 2 hours in combat, and then they pray some more, and then like they like get checked up, and then they like go to bed, and like that kind of thing. So
Ow. It's a lot of prey time.
there's a whole lot of praying to make sure that you're mentally strong against the temptations of chaos. Anyways,
Got
so
it.
yeah, so you go about kind of like maybe like giving her explanations, and she seems extremely fascinated, but not really, about everything that you say. And then probably at some point, like when you talk about going to sleep, she said you know, like, and then I, you know, go to sleep, and then I wake up and do it all over again, and that's probably like how you end the conversation. And she kind of sits there, and she's like, "So, what do you do for fun?"
That is fun.
He's not incorrect.
Do you not see the saw or the chainsword?
Do you not see how well this has been used?
No. You should just rev the chainsword.
Yeah, in the fucking place. Okay,
Where I'm bound to be shot at.
and
What are you talking about? With ceremonial weapons?
and so she like leans forward and she goes, "So you don't ever have any like girl time?"
My brain was like, goes, what is girl time? And I was like, that's probably not exactly how that would be responded to. we hang out with other battle sisters sometimes, but it's not like the movies. I'm assuming there's
Not like
movies
the
in Warhammer.
Holovids.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what they're called. Shit.
Okay.
Came
She
here to
goes-
kick ass and take names
She goes-
and chew bubblegum and around a bubblegum.
She probably goes like, "Oh, you poor dear," and like she kind of sits there and she's just like, "We have to, at some point, I have to take you out shopping."
the fuck am I gonna wear?
Do you say that out loud?
No, my thought is, I'm wearing armor. I have no idea what's under the armor, but I'm wearing armor.
You basically wear like a shift and like boxer brief kind of like outfit, and that's essentially it underneath this armor.
Gotcha. Just be like, okay.
She goes,
As long as I can
"Wonderful."
bring my armor.
She goes, "It's wonderful," and she like claps her hand. She's like, "It's a date," and she goes, "Well, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot about the other two of you. Were you saying something?" Like totally like off-putting. Like she totally forgot that like you guys kind
Don't
of
mind
were even.
us.
Huh? What, Jay?
Oh, no, don't mind us.
Yeah.
You're fucking getting way too much enjoyment out of that.
Seeing the awkwardness of this battle sister dealing with getting flirted with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll put that on pause and we'll snap back to Cecil. Cecil, so that I don't like do this too much, I'll let you do one more fantastical adventure of sleight of hand.
Oh man, I can't rob the whole room blind.
No,
You
it'll
could
take
try
you
to
far too
steal
much
from the
time.
Duchess.
Okay, I would like to position myself near the lady with the most valuables on her. Then,
Okay.
I guess that is, in
Lady
that
Mouth?
circle, in the circle of people that I have attracted their attention.
Okay, so you find a fairly gaudy woman that's like fanning herself, and she's probably talking to like one of her like other female friends, and she's something like, "Oh, so dreadfully dangerous. I can't believe that creatures like that could get into the Colosseum." Like those kind of like scuttlebutt conversations, and so you like step up and like probably like her like handmaiden lady like kind of looks up and she goes, "Oh," and like she like turns and she goes, "Oh my. Cecil. It was Cecil, right?"
That is what my friends call me.
She goes, "Terribly brave of you. Very, just absolutely terribly brave. Quite the gentleman. Most men here would not be able to do half as well as you. Probably would have gotten themselves bit."
I only do what I can.
Yes. Well, absolutely marvelous.
This is not how I pictured this going.
Wrecked.
He was
Let's
hoping that
see.
she was gonna body up against him.
Yep. I mean, everyone else was.
Only the young ones.
Well, that's what I was kind of aiming for. Was one of the ones who was already, in the area. Is what I was saying.
Oh yeah,
was...
she's in the area, and she's definitely the most covered.
God dang it, Verci. I was going for an easy mark that still had a bunch on him.
You already hit up the easy marks.
God dang it. I would like to, let's see here, inquire what it was she was just discussing.
Oh,
Wait, real quick. Is she sitting down?
standing.
Or is she standing? She's standing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, never mind. Continue on, please.
Oh, well, we were just talking about how dangerous apparently even the Colosseum is, that such a creature could have been able to snake up onto her arm without anyone noticing. Who knows? It could have been poisonous.
Where are her valuables at?
She's got a couple rings, a really fancy, super fancy looking necklace. She's also got like a kind of like something like a diamond comb type-ish thing, like some jeweled comb in her hair that's holding up her hair.
Does the jeweled comb look more valuable than everything else?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's almost like essentially made out of like emerald. Like the entire thing is an emerald.
Alright, I would like to compliment her on her hair while giving her a sideways glance and tapping the headpiece, the Vox, while it's like saying, "You have such lovely hair."
Okay.
To give
Maugan.
Maugan information of where I am focusing.
Okay, so Maugan, you see him looking at this probably like 40s or 50s-ish woman that he with another woman standing next to her, and you see Cecil across the room kind of looking at her hair, which is done up in this kind of like intricate braid type thing, and she's got this very nice like dazzling emerald comb in it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to just keep turning shit into snakes because somebody's gonna realize something's up. Does it look like it's structural? Could I maybe just like straight up hedge magic it out of her hair and like?
Maybe.
I don't know how I can help you, Zach. That's
Okay, it's cool if you don't have anything.
Unless you got any ideas, because we have comm beads, so you could just ask me to like.
I can't. I'm in the middle of conversation. I can't do
you're
that.
right.
Could I create a distraction by like raising a toast or something?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you could totally do that. I'm gonna make you actually give me the toast though. So yeah, so probably I think at this point Bjarn comes to your rescue on this one, Cecil, and he snatches a glass off of one of the trays and holds it up, and what do you say?
A toast to our gracious host, Lady Maub, for this wonderful party. And may she have a long and prosperous reign.
Okay, so I want a roll from you. Either performance or...
Public speaking?
Public speaking would be perfect for this.
Excellent. Let's see what we get.
Oh yeah, you clean that, no problem. You actually you probably even catch Lady Maub with a mouthful of food as you do it. Like she's probably kind of surprised that suddenly a toast happens like this. But the whole room kind of erupts and here's and to Lady Maub and our monarch and cheers like that, and she looks absolutely flustered and happy about hearing this kind of praise upon herself, even though she's grody with grease and pork fat.
Stuffing her face.
Yeah, nastiness. So Cecil, while this happens, you get one chance to take advantage of it to get an actual advantage from Jay.
I'm just gonna go for it.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hand check to whip the comb out without the hair tumbling down and making it blatantly obvious.
I'm
She
assuming.
whips her hair back and forth?
Yep. We're going to bring that up every session now. In some way, shape, or form.
I'm going to spend 2 effort on this.
Okay.
Okay, and sleight of hand?
Yep.
Let's do this.
Damn. Okay. I think I want a GM intervention your roll, though.
Of course! Of course!
So I will give you back the effort that you spent, because I don't think that that's fair that I let you do all that roll and spend your shit.
Okay.
But I'm gonna bone you on the roll. So you totally go to whip the comb out from her hair, and when you try to do it, it doesn't just make her hair tumble down. Apparently, this kind of comb for this kind of court actually it's not so much a comb as you thought it was, but it's actually like a piece that like the hair is wrapped around to create the style. So when you go to remove it, you straight on like pull her entire head as you try to like snatch it away from her hair. So all of a sudden her head like jerks to the side as like you try to whip the comb out from her head. And she goes, "Oh my! I'm being attacked!"
I would like to, since it didn't come out, I would like to try and put her in kind of like a, God, what's the word I'm looking for? Ah, frick.
Kiss her.
Huh?
Kiss her.
That's kind of the idea I'm going for. I was trying, like, I try to treat it like I'm trying to get her attention to just, like, try and just go right for it. Like Jay said, go for a kiss.
So like as she's saying like I'm being attacked, you like just plant one right on her.
Yeah.
So she probably gets to like help, I'm being as you like lay one on her. Give me a performance check of some sort. Let's see how good you are at kissing.
I have line deception. Is either of those going to assist me?
No, this is gonna just be a. Okay, I'll actually ask the other players. If you were to fit kissing into might, speed, or intelligence, which one do you think it would fit into for a category?
I have a better idea. Why don't we ask how many people are on the stream?
Probably like 2 or 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 on the stream. Yeah, that's fine. Stream. We'll let the stream choose.
How are we going to fuck him over?
Stream. How would you say that this is a might check, a speed check, or an intellect check to judge the skill of his kissing to shut her up and prevent her from basically calling the guards on his ass? We'll give it a pause. Actually, I think that's a good break point. We'll let the stream figure it out.